Hey everyone, Rusty here. I took my truck to the tire shop and I wanted to see if one of the spare tires I had would look better on the wheel for the race car, one of the spare wheels. So here's what I got. This one is a 255/70 and you can see the height of it. I think it's gonna look a little better than this G60. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount it on the other side and we'll compare. It should be a similar height to the rear tires, those 305/60s, but significantly cheaper. So if that looks good, I might buy 3 more just for racing. No point in buying 4. I mean, I already got 1. We don't care. We're just gonna, wear them out going around corners hard. So anyways, I'm gonna get this tire changed real quick and then we can see side-by-side comparison of what it looks like, and maybe we can go with that. Save me quite a bit of money. If not, I might think about a 295/60, which is also cheaper than a 305/60 and more readily available. They did have a little bit of trouble mounting this, but that's because this tire is not as wide as the wheel, so it's really a stretch. But we'll see how it looks. I'll bring you back when I got it on. On it, I wanted you to see the difference in the width, and the height is not that much. I kind of lined up the 2 tires here, and you can see that this one extends another inch or so. So I think these size tires will work. We'll just see how it looks, but I wanted to compare it to one of the bigger tires before I put it on. I mean, obviously it's going to look better than that, but we'll see how goofy it looks and how it lines up with the width of the car. That's what I'm trying to keep the look a little bit, and I'll go ahead and try it on the rear as well, and then we can make a final decision if we want to go with this size or not. Okay, there's that small tire, which I'm not a fan of. There's one of the big tires on the rear. And here's the one I just got put on. I think it looks pretty good. And here's how the rear tire looks right now. I think that's got a pretty aggressive look to it. What I'll do is I'll put another one of the wide tires on the front there to level out the height, and we'll see. But I think this is probably going to do it. I'm going to save quite a bit of money. Plus it's a radial tire, so thicker rubber, it's always better. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me get them mounted up. Okay, I got one of the bigger tires in the front on that side, and we'll see. Now the car's suspension is such that it leans, so don't hold that against it too much. But yeah, I think this size tire is gonna be fine, and that's gonna be over $100 cheaper per tire to buy them new. So that's what we're gonna go with. Plus they'll last a lot longer than these thin racing tires. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get that wheel and tire on the back now, and we'll see how it compares. So that looks pretty decent right there, right? We got clearance all around. The suspension is relatively stiff. It doesn't even have shocks. So it looks like we got, probably 4 inches or so clearance all the way around. We'll see how it looks with the other wheel and tire. A little bit taller. All right, I think that looks pretty good. I mean, of course we'll have to level out the car suspension and everything once we get all the right size tires, but I think that is going to do it. With the you can see the rear end is turning that way to help them make those left turns at the dirt track, but we'll fix that as well soon. What I did was I didn't put that wheel on. I just have a jack stand under there right now because I'm trying to level out the car to see how it would look if it was somewhat level. I missed the mark a little bit, but I think that size tire is going to work. So it's going to be significantly cheaper and easier to find. And the size that I'm looking at is 255/70, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's upside down, but 255/70 right here. If you can see it, I don't know. So, in other news, I'm working on getting some headers that shoot straight up. So I think that's going to be cool. I'm supposed to see a guy later today. And this bolt did not strip out, but the nut that I was impacting it into did. So I'm going to lift the engine up and I'm going to weld this in place, and then I'll set it back down on top of these threads, and then I'll put a nut on it, and I think that's going to work. So that's the next little item on the agenda here. All right, you should be able to see the suspension on the car, and I'm going to loosen that spring up, and I should lose some ride height with this adjustable front suspension. These tires are pretty close to the same height. I just want to see if I got enough adjustability in there to do what I want to do. Yeah, I think that does it. That's looking a little bit more like what we want it to look like as far as ride height goes. And you can see what a difference it made on the driver's side as well. It looks a lot better. This part actually increased in height because, you know, it's diagonal from the other side. So that's giving her a pretty mean look. And we will go with those size tires. We're not spending a mint on this thing. We're spending cents, not dollars, if you get what I'm saying. Why do you think I'm putting a 305 in here, not a freaking 454? I'm not trying to win. I just want to have some fun. So I think this is going to do it. So the next item on the agenda is I got to get this wheel off, and I got to get the engine hoist in position, and I got to pick this motor up and out of the way so that I can weld this piece on, and I got to find a nut that fits this, and I might have to cut the end of this off, but I'm going to time lapse all that so it's not wasting too much of your time. And then we'll put the motor back down in place. I don't expect to move it too far, just kind of, you know, move it out of the way for the welding. And we'll go from there. Okay, here it is. We got that motor mount bolted to the chassis. And on the other side, I had to bring out the big guns, the old hammer drill. She don't ask no questions. And I got that bolt in. Had to waller that hole out, if you know what I'm saying. Had to make it so that it could reach. But we got the transmission back down on that piece of pipe. We'll have to make a cross member later. And I need to be thinking about, I'm gonna remove this transmission and leave the engine in place. I don't think I'm gonna remove the engine anymore, just because it's a bit of a trick. So I think what I'll do is I'll lift the car up pretty high, and then I can remove the transmission off the engine like you would doing a transmission job. You normally don't take the engine out unless you have to. So that's what I plan on doing there. I'm going to shim this baby out all the way out to the where this nut is, flush with the end of the threads here, and maybe that will get my alignment a little better as far as the caster camber, right? And then the toe in, toe out I'll adjust later. Looks like they're both towed in. We'll figure that out once we have all the same size tires on. This differential on the back needs to pivot out, because right now the differential is turned this way, and that's for circle track stuff. Need to think about shocks. That's why I kept the shocks off of my C10, so I can see what the mounting might look like if I just use those style shocks. But I might have to just get some smaller shocks for it. Think about that. But in any event, that's what we have for this video. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We're going to keep making steady progress on this Camaro race car. So if you want to see it on the track, eventually we'll get there. We'll be getting to some of the funner stuff soon enough. The wiring and starting it up and seeing if the transmission's good. Got to bolt down the seat. Here's the backup transmission. So if that other one doesn't work, I got to get a drive shaft made, which means I got to get this thing on a trailer, get it down to the drive shaft shop so they can measure it out properly. Before I do that, I'm going to try to get the alignment correct. So we got a lot ahead of us. So lots of interesting content to come. See you next time.